We got some questions today from the team. Every week in our check-ins, we ask them what's an area or a question that they're curious about. That's gonna help them with their journey. So today, Harry's gonna pick the best ones, take it from them, and then we're gonna answer it here. Hopefully give you guys some value as well.
Eating off plan feels so bad.
Okay, I think we'll break it up into two. So how to deal with cravings, and then how to not feel shit whenever you deviate off the plan, which I think is a really common one. When it comes to cravings, the first thing is definitely looking at the trigger. What I've found over the years of coaching, very rarely does someone actually have a craving, and it usually stems from having a trigger. They see the food online, or they see someone else eating it in front of them, or it's just in their house. And then what ends up happening is that creates the thought of wanting to eat this food, and then they sort of like keep thinking about it, and that's literally what the craving is. And so the first thing that we could do is just remove the trigger altogether. Now, a bit hard when you're on social media all day and you're looking at food, especially like when you're on a diet, you tend to start looking at food a lot more. But definitely not having it in the house is the first step. So if you know that you're prone to snacking on chips, snacking on whatever it is, chocolate, when you know you're on a fat loss phase and that's your kryptonite in a way, you want to just remove it entirely, especially if you don't trust yourself to be able to control your portions yet. So removing that trigger is the first thing. But then the second thing with cravings is really just learning how to track macros and calories. If you actually understand what the value is of the thing that you're craving, it's a lot easier to fit it into your diet. And by doing that, you can actually incorporate it on a regular basis so that it doesn't become a craving anymore. It's just something that you eat because you enjoy it. So definitely the first thing, removing the trigger, and then also learning to track macros so you can fit it in. Now, when it comes to, let's say you're craving I don't know, what's a craving that people want to go for? No, ice cream's easy. I'm thinking about craving, like most cravings are like ice.
BBH, like
Yeah.
full meal.
Yeah.
Like Korean barbecue or something.
Yeah, so like let's say you're craving a certain restaurant and a burger and fries and a milkshake. Let's say that's your craving. If you just really got to ask yourself, is it really something that you genuinely want right now? Or is it really just a moment that's gonna go away the next day if you just sleep it off? And in most cases, when someone's craving something, it's usually just because they're hungry. You can just, if you just eat your meal, go to sleep, the next day is probably not gonna be there. Now, if you still have it after a week, then maybe it's the case that you just wanna have it. And if you do, that's where the calorie banking and giving yourself enough space for it, and also guesstimating what your calories will be for it, that's a nice way to go about it. Or just eat it, enjoy it, and make sure it doesn't spiral out for a whole week. Yeah, the second part of that was how to not feel shit when you do deviate. It's the practical answer is you won't feel shit if you know that it fits within your plan. The only time clients feel shit about eating off plan is because they didn't account for it. It was very last minute, and they end up overindulging because there's no boundaries, right? But if you can plan ahead for an outing and you give yourself enough space for it, and you know that you're going into it, choosing your lean proteins, giving yourself some leeway for it, you can actually go and enjoy yourself. But let's say, that's the practical sense, right? Giving yourself the budget and the allocation to enjoy it. But then there are gonna be moments where, let's say you're on holiday and you just overeat for that day, and you overdo it, you eat too many desserts and whatnot. If that happens, just acknowledging that it was just a day that you enjoyed good food, it doesn't mean you packed on a bunch of weight and you fucked your entire progress up. Being logical and reasonable, that's the biggest key here, and removing the emotion from food, because you didn't mess anything up as badly as you think it is. You're not gonna ruin months of progress in one meal. So yeah, just give yourself some grace. And if you really do slip up, it's okay. Make sure it doesn't, again, spiral out for multiple days in a row. Just get right back on track. And before you know it, that one day becomes really insignificant in the years of being a healthy person.
You fucking wrote the questions.
No, I didn't write them.
Bro.
I copied and pasted the questions.
Do you use Howard twice in 4 words? How to know how to calculate macros? And when should I be eating more? And when I should be in a calorie deficit?
Okay. I'll go with the second part first. So when should you be in a deficit? When should you be in a surplus? I'm assuming is the question. The best way is just going off of your actual body fat levels. So if you're obviously holding more body fat than you're comfortable with, then the chances are you just probably need to lose some of that body fat, and that will justify going to calorie deficit. Now, it's a little bit different if you're, let's say, skinny fat and you don't have much muscle, but you also have a little bit of body fat, and so the composition looks a lot worse. In that case, it's more so just determining what's the best strategy. Now, it's a bit hard if I don't understand your situation, but if you are definitely holding like 5 kilos, 10 kilos plus of body fat that you're unhappy with, then that would be the case of going to a deficit. And then when you get out of a deficit and you start needing to eat more is when you are happy with your leanness and you're ready to go into maintenance, or you're ready to go into a muscle building phase, or you just get to a point of the diet where you can't sustain it and it's starting to get more draining than it is enjoyable. That will be the case that it's time for you to increase your calories and go into a different phase and focus. The second part was how to calculate macros. It's usually based on someone's body composition. So if they have more muscle mass, less muscle mass, how much body fat they have, and also just their, I guess their goal and the phase that they're in. But I usually like to work within a few general ranges, and hopefully this will help. With protein, my safe range is usually going to be around 2 to 2.4 grams per kilogram. Now, if you're in a bulking phase, you could go a little bit lower as well, because you're eating more food. Carbs are protein sparing, so if you're eating more carbs in a bulk, you don't need as much protein in a sense. But if you're in a deficit, I'll usually increase it. Now, if you're in a deficit and you're very heavy, let's say you're over 100 kilos, you're pretty new to the whole fitness thing, you probably don't need as much protein as someone who is leaner and also has more muscle mass, or for example, doesn't have as much to lose. So 2 to 2.4 grams per kilogram is a nice safe range no matter what phase you're in. And then for fat, again, it also depends on where your current weight is, but my general safe range is anywhere from like 0.5 to 1 gram per kilogram. 0.5 is if you're on the heavier side, and if you're 1 gram, it's usually if you're on the lighter side, and it's more of a personal preference. But anywhere from 40 to like 45, 50 grams onwards is a nice little target to go for. And then your carbs will be based on how many calories you have left over. So you need to know your calories to do this.
I'd like to learn more about understanding calories. What's a good weekly weight gain while in a growth phase, and what's a good weekly weight loss in a deficit?
So a good rate of loss in a fat loss phase, I would say, is anywhere from 500 grams to a kilo a week, assuming that you have a lot of body fat to lose. Now, if you're skinny fat, you probably wouldn't be losing a kilo a week realistically, because you'll be recomping. It's a little bit different, but for the most people watching this who need to lose 5 kilos plus, 500 grams to a kilo a week is a really good rate of loss. And then when it comes to the bulking phase or building phase, a good rate of gain, you want to zoom out and look at it at a monthly view. And general rule of thumb, 1 to 2% of your body weight in kilograms per month is a good spot to be in. Now, it doesn't mean every week you need to go up by the even amount. You could not gain for 2 weeks and then gain, let's say, the following 2 weeks, and that's fine. You want to zoom out from a weekly view in fat loss to a monthly view for your building phase.
The last one was, how much do the calories differ between the two phases?
Your calories in a bulk.
Say me, what would you put, or say yourself.
Yeah.
What's your bulking calories and what's your deficit calories?
Oh yeah, cool. So the difference in calories, it will just be based on how aggressively you're losing body fat, and also, how aggressively you build how aggressively you need to lose body fat, and also what your maintenance buffer is. So obviously, being in a surplus, you need to eat above your maintenance. If your maintenance buffer is really wide, then you typically be able to eat a lot more. So for me, my peak bulk with my coach was, I think, 3,200 at one point, and that was us sort of like chilling in terms of growing. And my deficit right now is 1,700. So it's a 1,300 calorie difference, but that's also because we're in an aggressive deficit where I'm pulling calories down a lot harder, and it's a very short, intense period of dieting. But if I was doing a longer term, he probably would have started me at like 2,200, 2,300 and slowly dropped it down. So it's a bit hard. It really is dependent on you and where you're at in your journey and what the goal and intention is. But it could range anywhere from like a couple hundred calories to almost over 1,000 something.
Do one mindset one.
Okay.
To change it up. How to feel motivated to train and get moving if overwhelmed with stuff you can't control.
how to keep being motivated to train even when you feel shitty, basically, right? And overwhelmed and stressed.
I think maybe it's all about life factors
Outside.
overwhelm you, like the things you can't control.
Yeah. So things like work, family stress, relationship stress, they're gonna happen. I think the first thing is, from a more cliche standpoint, it really is removing the conditions around you staying consistent as much as you can. Because if you are only gonna show up to the gym when you feel good, it's gonna be very inconsistent because of that. Because most of the time we're gonna go through stress. So the first thing is, the first tip I can give you is changing the perspective on the workouts and seeing it more as a, I guess, reliever rather than a progress driver. If you can find benefit in going to work out, and pushing yourself, challenging yourself, and doing something productive that day that is for your physical health, it won't be dependent on you wanting to progress to show up anymore. It's just simply what you do when you're stressed. And so now it's not based on how you feel, it's really just who you are as a person. You're someone that works out, and you even see more value in it when you are stressed. And so that's sort of how I go about my training and how I encourage a lot of clients to. When I go through a rough period in life, I feel overwhelmed, one of the best things I do is literally going to work out, and you always feel so much clearer after. You feel a lot better about yourself because you feel like you're productive with something. And it's just a way to push yourself outside of the other stresses. For that hour in that day, it's just for you. So that's how I sort of see training, how I always recommend clients to see it as well during these periods.
This can be off camera, but I feel like what I'm realizing recently is like some people don't get that same feeling from gym day.
From working out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't get that dopamine from it.
Yeah.
Like you know how we can't understand people that don't work out, but we feel good from working out.
People who don't like working out. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't get that clarity and that productive feeling.
Yeah. Okay.
Just tell them to find their own thing that's...
For those who don't like working out, which actually, you're right, a lot of the guys on the team actually don't like working out. They say the same thing, which is like, oh, it feels like a chore, even when things are going well. So you don't have to love the gym, and you don't have to love it how we do, right? But in the moments where you feel shitty and life's getting the best of you, just reduce the friction that you have to show up to the gym. So rather than working out for that hour, if you just commit to your goal and show up to the gym for even 20, 30 minutes, just that routine alone has a really positive impact when it comes to you feeling productive with your health still. Now, if you really dread the idea of working out, again, reduce it even further. You need to know where your minimum is. If it is literally just going out for a walk instead, and you're feeling really stressed out that day, you just don't want to work out, I'm not going to tell you that you have to. I would encourage you to, but if you can only go for a walk, then that's the best that you can do, right? And if you can work out for 20 minutes, that's the best that you can do. What you could try as well is just having like this backup workout that you only do things that you enjoy, or you only do things that are easy. And that way you don't break routine based on how you feel. You still have something in place that allows you to stay consistent and still work at least 1% towards your goal compared to usual. I hope you guys found that helpful. That was a list of questions that were asked by our clients this week. So I'm sure if it's popped up in their mind, it's probably gonna pop up for you, and hopefully you're gonna find some value to help you along your journey. If you guys have any videos that you'd like to see that will help you, let us know in the comments below. You can DM me on Instagram as well, @Coach Derek Tan.